Knowing which of the best mobile games work offline can be tricky. Android and iOS don't specify which games play offline and which ones don't. Sometimes you might find the details in the app's description, but that's few and far between. So to help you out, here are the 15 best offline games for Android and iOS. I bet you these games will make you a craving to download and play instantly. Excited to see what's coming next? Then let's get started! Starting off at number 15, we have Gunfire. Gunfire is a first-person shooter where you'll have to pass the corridor levels for a fluffy sheriff. The project also accommodates elements from RPG and bagels, so every time you get into random rooms, at the end of which there's a chest with skills to choose from. The game shines in terms of gameplay and interface. Everything is intuitive, there are no special offers on the screen, and no ads pop up between levels every time. Also, if a new type of mob awaits the player, you'll see their appearance and description before the start of the round. Gunfire developers promise more than 40 types of weapons, 20 upgradable talents, more than 50 enemies, and so on. In future updates, the project will be further diversified. Now at number 14, we have Paperly. Paperly is a 3D arcade game where you launch paper planes to see who can go the furthest. As it might be expected, this isn't a terribly daunting task. Simply long press on screen, and as soon as you let go, your paper plane is launched into the air. The action takes place on a beautiful island full of places to explore. Follow the light flares to show you which way to head. Plus, these flares push you forwards even faster, so you can soar the skies. Anytime you complete a successful flight with your paper plane, you earn money which can increase or decrease depending on how far you've flown. In order to level up, you'll need to build on your skills, launch power, gliding, and earning offline coins. Breaking into number 13, we have Inversion. Have you ever imagined what happens to the world when gravity isn't always downward? In an upside-down city, walking on the walls and falling to the sky, the space is no longer limited to the flat ground, and the movement of all objects will become different. This game constructs a special gravity space. In the game, you'll explore in the intricate gravity space, break the traps, solve the puzzles, and discover the path to the end. Inversion is a hidden treasure on the Google Play Store. It's a mix between a platformer, puzzle, and somewhat a sports game. It still needs some tweaking to make it a more perfect and complete experience. Down to number 12, we have Robbery Madness 2. This is a simulator of a thief who isn't just going to act in the field of illegal enrichment and obtaining valuable items in his collection, but also build a full-fledged career on this. From a small cat burglar to a thunderstorm of various very well-protected objects, the gameplay is made in first person. It's necessary to move carefully and stealthily explore locations, find secrets, keys, and codes, avoid security systems, and so on. What you get is worth spending on pumping the contents of your inventory, which is very useful in the later stages, as well as in other game modes. Filling our number 11 slot is Relumine. Relumine is an adventurous isometric puzzle game in which a girl named Relu set out to explore the ruins of ancient civilizations in search of her missing father. The gameplay consists of abstract puzzles in which you'll need to rotate the world with the help of a magical crystal. The main mechanics of the game is based on rotating platforms and blocks and interaction with various mechanisms and traps. The ruins are full of the spirits of the past. Some will help the girl in solving difficult tasks, and others will hinder and haunt the main heroine, creating unexpected dangers. In the dialogues with the spirits, you can also learn more about the history of the ancient world and the reasons for its destruction. Coming in at number 10, we have STARENA. STARENA presents high-paced action gameplay with a sophisticated and impressive top-down perspective to give everyone endless amusement. Moreover, the game uses arena robot concepts to stimulate people through various game modes or fierce battles in their careers. Everything is also designed in a futuristic world to open up new possibilities and players' enjoyment as a robot gladiator. The gameplay emphasizes the element of continuous action, but leaves the player with a constant confrontation with giant machines as a gladiator. The game has various game modes to entertain or facilitate the players to give them more exploration with gameplay throughout their career. Moving on to number 9, we have Bladed Fury. Bladed Fury is a classic 2D action game based on Chinese mythology with an accompanying traditional art style and sound design, but with a dash of surrealism added to the mix. Bladed Fury is painstakingly adapted for touchscreens, but fully playable with supported controllers. The game is indeed a truly exceptional experience with fast gameplay, a high-octane combo system, and a wealth of ancient monsters and deities to slay. Play as a Chinese princess who must fend off opposing clans in order to reclaim her realm. Players will hack and slash their way through this stunning side-scroller, avenge the father's death, and restore respect to the family. Coming in at number 8, we have Inua. Inua is an adventure game based on the beliefs of Inua, in which we learn about the fate of the 3 main characters living at different times intervals in the Great North. Once upon a time, there was a wonderful polar bear named Nanarlook, who became the subject of a sick ambition of 3 people who decided to hunt her, just to prove to themselves that they're better. However, killing the bear upset the balance of nature. Now, having embodied the soul of Nanarlook, we must restore the natural course of world life. To this end, we influence the fate of 3 human figures living in periods that separate them by more than 100 years. Peter, Simon, and the Mysteries. Next up at number 7, we have Invention 3. Invention 3 is the continuation of a very good series of shooters, so I'll highly recommend finishing the first 2 parts first. In this episode, the main character continues his journey through a world where the epidemic of the zombie virus is already in its final stage. There are hordes of opponents around, and you need to be as cold-blooded as possible in order to stay alive. Attentiveness, waiting for an enemy attack every second, accuracy and concentration will help players fight their way from one safe place to another. Overall, it has good graphics, mobile and dangerous targets, a variety of barrels, a long duration, and much more that will please everyone who wants to shoot enough mutants that aren't going to stand in one place. Down to number 6, we have Tiny. Tiny is an unusual shooter with strange sounds in which the game will take on the role of a special forces unit consisting of cardboard fighters. The graphics and funny sounds make it feel like it's an arcade game with its auto missions, but it's not. You can break walls, windows, and barricades. Also, the locations are large, and even walking can't be set to auto mode. At the same time, the enemies differ in their roles and vary from ninjas to terrorists armed to the teeth. At each location, our main goal is to defuse the bomb and stay alive. We're offered random missions, although the locations might not differ too much. As for the difficulty though, it increases quite quickly, so already at the 3rd level, you'll be destroyed in the first few minutes. Moving on to number 5, we have Race Max Pro. This is a good racing simulator in which you'll race with legendary sports cars and take on different game modes including Sprint Race, Time Challenge, and Speed Trap. It is simple, affordable, not demanding, and at the same time beautiful, has great opportunities and good physics. Here you'll see real cars from the best manufacturers. We'll be able to improve them in the garage, customize their appearance, and participate in various championships and competitions. There are 5 locations, more than 10 different racing tracks, and 3 game modes. The game has stunningly beautiful 3D graphics easily matched with any racing game on the market, but never compared to Grid Autosport or Asphalt 9. Next up at number 4, we have El Hijo. This is a fascinating western in which there are elements of stealth where you have to take care of the fate of a little boy, a 6-year-old child who's lost his mother, kidnapped by gang thugs, but the boy isn't going to put up with loss. He decides to go in search of a person close to him, but he doesn't suspect all the dangers waiting for him ahead. Embark with your hero on a long and dangerous journey for the sake of your noble goal. You'll have to face not only adverse weather conditions, but also all kinds of enemies, including wild animals and people. The kid doesn't know how to use weapons, so in all cases, he's constantly forced to hide. Try to move forward while remaining unnoticed. Coming in at number 3, we have Huntercraft. Huntercraft is a very entertaining action game about walking in a world where zombies are everywhere. According to tradition, players will have to take on the role of a survivor and manage to get to a relatively quiet location. Relatively. Any steps outside the shelter is accompanied by serious risks of encountering excessively strong enemies. So you should think through your actions in advance, be ready to retreat, and always have a good supply of ammunition with you. The project has cute cubic-style graphics, an open map, a variety of useful items, and convenient controls that help you aim and deftly dodge problems. Next up at number 2, we have Bus Simulator Pro. This game turns you into a veteran bus driver, experiencing many different vehicles in turn, conquering and experiencing all bus routes everywhere in the city, witnessing the realistic simulation scenes from the bus station to the modern street. You also have a lot of attractive customization options and enjoy very good physics simulation when playing games. Therefore, among countless driving simulation games in general, and buses in particular, Bus Simulator Pro still has its own distinct position. The city model built in the game is quite complex and highly realistic. The streets are crowded with means of transport, the volume of vehicles changes depending on the time of day, combined with diverse weather conditions, rain, sunshine, and wind. And finally, at number 1, we have Gibbon, Beyond the Trees. Gibbon is a beautiful new 2D adventure in which you swing between treetops and slide down branches like Disney's Tarzan or an aerial skateboarder. It's from the creators of Old Man's Journey and looks similarly gorgeous. I get a heavy Alto's adventure vibe from Gibbon because they're both games where you're traveling through these breathtaking environments and you can barely take a still screenshot from any point in either game and hang it on your wall as art. Broken Rules has taken special care in creating the dynamic movement system in the game, which is based on how Gibbons actually move in real life. Gibbon will feature a story mode as well as a procedurally generated endless mode, and it tries to bring attention to some pretty heavy environmental topics, like deforestation, poaching, and climate change. And that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you like it, and subscribe for more mobile gaming goodness. Until next time around, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around. Peace!